Hey guys, so this is an Ark Passive guide for Deathblow Striker, and specifically 1680 Deathblow Striker. I'm not really going to be focusing too much on the 1660 version because that's very similar to the Tier 3 version, whereas I'm going to be going deep dive into the 1680 version and maybe touching a little bit here and there about things that you can be editing for your character when it's 1660. But 1680 Deathblow Striker is a huge departure from the old Striker, from the skills itself, well, sort of, the builds and playstyle as well. And I think that, again, I mentioned this in my first impressions video, the 1680 version of the Ark Passive Deathblow Striker is actually pretty worth playing if you're looking for a fun class. It's still not the strongest class out there. I'd say mid to above average as best, but, you know, it's a fun class that's going to be doing decent damage for the character. So let's get started. First off, let's dive into the basics about the Ark Passive, the stats, the gems, everything. So let's open up our character settings and go into the Ark Passive menu. Now, I have all 5 pieces of my ancient gear, and your build may vary a little bit depending on what you have in terms of your ancient pieces. So right now, I have 30 into specialization, 10 into crit, and that's going to be for everybody. Then I have 3 into limit break, 2 into strike, and 2 into standing striker. So this is the standing striker build that most Korean players are using right now, but there also is a blunt spike build that people use, or blunt thorn, where you take, instead of 3 into limit break, you take 2 into keen sense, 1 into limit break, 2 into strike, then you go into blunt thorn. Now, the difference between the two in terms of the Ark Passive is this, but also you have to change your elixirs as well. If you're going to the Blunt Thorn build, you're going to be wanting to use Master Elixirs. Whereas if you're going the Standing Striker build, which is what I use, you just need to keep your old critical elixir set. Now, there's 2 reasons why I prefer the Standing Striker build over the Blunt Thorn build. 1, Standing Striker build doesn't make me cut a new set of elixirs, because we all know elixirs suck, and hopefully eventually they'll change it so you just have whatever elixir set you want. But the other reason why I don't like playing Blunt Thorn, and a lot of the Korean players don't like playing Blunt Thorn, is because 80% crit is kind of rough when you have a skill that does a majority of your damage. The Striker T skill with the 16 bubbles does about 40% of your outgoing damage in your total damage pie. So if you're just unlucky that day and you're missing every single crit on that T skill, it feels really bad. So while the Blunt Thorn build might be a little bit of a higher ceiling in terms of comfort, fun, all that, I personally prefer playing the Standing Striker build, but that is up to you. So that is going to be the evolution tree. If you're a little bit lower level and you don't have all your pieces, I would recommend that the earliest that you can swap is probably going to be if you can do a build like this. 1, 2, 1. This is going to be still somewhat of a DPS loss unless you have like really good accessories, but at least this will get you started in playing the new 1680 version of the Striker, right? As long as you have the points to do it over here and you have this amount of points minimum, again, minimum, you can swap over. This will be a DPS loss. Again, this is definitely not a DPS increase, but because the 1680 version of the Striker is just so much more comfortable to play, like the Ark Passive version of Striker is so much more comfortable to play, personally, I don't think it's the worst thing to swap if you're like this. So after that, you can put a point into here, maybe take some points off of this and then put it back into here, something like that. And then at this point, I would say that it is definitely worth it for you to swap. But eventually, you're going to get your build to look like this. So there is that. Now, the Enlightenment tree, you're going to want to have it look like this if you have all your pieces. So if you have every piece ancient, you're going to want it to look like this. 2 into Orb's Blessing, and then 2 into Fully Charged. Basically, everything maxed down to here, 2 into this, and then 2 into this. Personally, I don't have max all ancient gear, so my build has been looking a little bit like this. So it's like 3 into this, I think. Sorry, no, 1 into this, and then 3 into this. That is what I've been playing off of with my current setup. But if you have more ancient pieces, you're going to want to max it out to look like this, where it's 2 into this and 2 into that. Any less, if you have, let's say, 1 less here, again, you just want to get 1 into this and then as many points into fully charged as possible. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. You're not going to want to swap into this until you have that. Again, for 1660, it's going to be a little different. You're probably going to have it look a little bit like this. You're not going to be able to go into your Orb's Blessing, and then you're not going to be able to switch to like the new build. You're still going to play tier 3 striker build, basically, but with Ark Passive enabled. So there's that. Now for the leap tree, this has a little bit of a variance depending on you as a person. So Nexus personally recommends you go your leap tree like this. If you have, before Brel, right? None of us have Brel at the moment. So this is what it looks like before Brel for Nexus. They want you to go like this. But for me, I actually prefer to have it on max on instant spell and just putting 1 into this. Because personally, my thought process is that, hey, I want to be landing my T skill a lot. If I miss my T skill, then it's very sad and it sucks and I'm doing less damage. So even if, let's say, I have a little bit more power on my Hyper Awakening, if I'm missing my T skill, it sucks. Yes, it doesn't make like a huge difference. You're not putting a lot of, points in, like this doesn't give you a huge amount of casting speed, right? But any casting speed helps, in my opinion. It could be the difference between the boss being like 45 degrees and like 40 degrees and you missing versus hitting that T skill. Personally, I prefer it like this, but I totally understand if you're the type of person that's like, hey, I just rather put it into the Hyper Awakening, because many people do. I think maybe the middle ground would be to put 2 points into this and then 2 points into this. And that's, kind of what the Koreans do-ish, and I'll go into that in just a second. But at the very minimum, you want to have 2 points into this node right here, release potential. Because if you don't have 2 points into this, and this is a requirement, by the way, you will not be able to cycle your T skill properly in the Ark passive form. So you're not going to be able to get your T skill out in time for your rotation. So this is a requirement. And then, of course, our T skill does a ton of damage, so you're going to want to max out Unleashed Power, right? So that is what we are doing right now. But later when we do get Brel, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting into Efficient Strike. Now, Nexus recommends, I think, like, points into this one and then points into this one. But personally, I still prefer less points into this, more points into this, and then putting out an Efficient Strike. When I get my Ark passive, I'm going to be putting 2 points into Instant Spell, 2 points into Transcendent Power, same with this, and then 5 points into this, and then I'm going to be putting 3 into Efficient Strike. But some people might choose, again, to do more points into Transcendent Power, which I totally understand. Then you could put the 3 into Efficient Strike after that. Nexus, I think, recommends you to have 2, but the people in KR recommend you have 3. So it really is, at the end of the day, a preference, but you want to have at least 2 points into Efficient Strike, and then distribute the points up here somehow, some way, shape, or form that you find suits you. That's the great thing about Ark Passive. A lot of times you can just kind of switch things up to really make it feel like a class that you want to play. It doesn't have to go along with some certain meta. It just has to work well and have the minimum requirements, like I said, the release potential 2, and then I would say this is definitely a requirement as well, having your Unleashed Power at 5. So that is the Ark Passive Tree for Evolution, Enlightenment, and the Leap. Now, in terms of the skills itself, I have a skill build where I have my Sky Shattering Blow, my Lightning Whisper, not maxed out, they're both at 10, and then I have Storm Dragon Kick at 4. The reason being that some people have their Storm Dragon Kick at 10, so they take points off of Vicious Tiger Dance and put Storm Dragon Kick at 10. But I personally don't think that, this makes much sense at all, because you don't really use Storm Dragon Kick as damage skill anyways. And then also this last node right here, whether you pick White Tiger Kick or Fallen Flower Kick, changes the animation of your Storm Dragon Kick, which I don't like. So I end up just doing this, where it's 14, 14, 14, 14, 14 on these skills, and I keep the Storm Dragon Kick down here at 4. But the tripods are as follows. It's basically the same thing as your tier 3 striker. but you're using different skills, right? You're taking out blast formation, and instead of having blast formation there, you're adding in moonflash kick or sweeping kick. So you're one less SO skill. So you're going to be 1, 3, 2 on Sky Shattering Blow. You're going to be 3, 1, 2 on Moonflash Kick. You're going to be 2, 1, 1 on Vicious Tiger Dance. And you're going to do Sweeping Kick is 1, 1, 1. Some people put it on 2. Personally, I think that the increased attack speed and cooldown just makes your rotation so much better. So I personally recommend everybody take Swift Footwork, the first tripod on this one. Tiger Strike, you're going to have 2, 1, 1. Lightning Whisper, you're going to have 3, 1, 1. You can also do the third tripod over here after images if you don't care about the attack speed that you give to your party members and yourself. But personally, I prefer having the attack speed tripod. Just helps the party more. Storm Dragon Kick, of course, we're going to have level 4, which is going to be the first tripod 1. And then Tiger Emerges, I have 3, 2, 1. You can also do a different build and use this one right here, the Ho Sung Gyuk. But personally, I just don't think that the damage of this matters as much. So I think Ascension is more comfortable for me. But you can choose either one. In terms of the rune setup, this is what I have. So Wealth Rune, Legendary Wealth Rune here. I have the Blue Wealth Rune on Moonflash Kick. Purple Wealth Runes on both the Vicious Tiger Dance and the Sweeping Kick. I have Legendary Gale Wind on my Tiger Strike. I have a Blue Wealth on Lightning Whisper. I have Quick Recharge on my Storm Dragon Kick, and a Vision Rune on my Tiger Emerges. Now, for the Storm Dragon Kick, I'd say Quick Recharge is much more important than it has been before, because in the past, even if you Quick Recharge your skills, it didn't really make the skills come back up that much faster. But because of our current rotation, I actually think that Quick Recharge does have an impact, and it's probably the best one to have on here. But again, if you wanted to change it to something else, Bleed, Poison, you can also use Rage, you can use Purify, all those things are fine. The Quick Recharge is a flexible rune that you can have here, but everything else I'd say is required. So those are the skills and the runes. And then we go into engravings, which there are a couple of variations. Well, I'd say mainly 2. So right now, tier 4 Ark Passive 1680 Striker, right? We use Supercharge. So Supercharge is used because our T skill is a charge skill and our Lightning Tiger Strike is a charge skill. And those are our main 2 damage, with our T skill being a significant amount of damage over the others. So it's very important that we get that off and are able to hit that on the back. So people run Supercharge now, and they take off Keen Blunt Weapon, which is what I've done. But some people also choose to take off Ambush Master, which is also a possibility as well. It's less popular. I'm pretty sure it's like a lower damage ceiling if you take it off. But people choose to take Keen Blunt Weapon off because, again, getting Keen Blunted kind of sucks on a skill that does 40% of your damage. So that's why a lot of people in KR have chosen to take off Keen Blunt Weapon for Supercharge. You can also just not use Supercharge and run Keen Blunt, which is going to be a higher ceiling build, because right now Supercharge does not affect Tiger Emerges, which does still do a significant amount of damage. But, you lose the ability to charge your T skill and your Tiger Strike quickly. So it's up to you whether you think you want to keep the Keen Blunt or whether or not you want to take it off and replace it with Supercharge, or replace Ambush Master with Supercharge. It's up to you. Sphere Absorption I just put here for, Yearning Simulation, right? And then for cards, we are finally going with Light of Salvation. So we are no longer going to be playing around with the Laz Umar set, which, thank goodness, we no longer have to play with that, because that card set was always the most clunky card set, made it so we couldn't do any mechs. Everybody hated us for it, so we finally get to play with LOS 30. Now, later on with Brel, we're going to be swapping over to using like the Lightning set and using all the elementals. So that kind of sucks that we have to now worry about multiple card sets. But hey, at least we don't have to deal with Lazumar anymore, right? If you're an SO Striker, sadly, you're still playing with Lazumar. But for us, we don't have to deal with it anymore, which is awesome. Now moving on to gems, you can see that I actually don't have all my gem slots filled out, and that's there's a reason for that. Now you're going to want to fill them all out when you're actually doing a raid, but I'm doing this just for demonstration purposes. So Deathblow Striker doesn't actually have a lot of gems that it needs. Honestly, this last gem right here, Sweeping Kick damage, you don't really need it that much either, but Sweeping Kick does do a little bit of damage in your pie, so, we'll give it a damage gem, right? But in reality, the only things that you're required to have are Vicious Tiger Dance cooldown, Sweeping Kick cooldown, Lightning Whisper cooldown, Sky Shattering Blow cooldown, the Storm Dragon Kick cooldown, Lightning Tiger Strike damage. So if you have a level 9 tier 4 damage gem, you can use that. But if you don't, you're going to want to use a level 10 tier 3. We have a Moonflash Kick cooldown. We have a Tiger Emerges damage. And then we have Sweeping Kick damage. Again, this is not really even that required. But I'd say out of the flex gems, this is the most required one. So the reason why we don't have any last gems here is because we just don't need them. If you really wanted to min-max, then you could really put in Moonflash Kick damage and, Vicious Tiger Dance damage, I guess, because those are our next most damaging skills. But in reality, if we look at our damage pie, these skills don't do that much. So Moonflash Kick plus Pants do 3.6% of our damage, and then our Vicious Tiger Dance does 2.1, and Sweeping Kick also only does 3.6% damage. They're really not doing much damage. So even if we gave them huge damage gems, it's not like they're doing that much more damage. Again, if you wanted to super min max, sure, add the damage gems onto here, right? But if you really don't care, which is me personally, I don't have these gems, and then I just run my old gems from my other build. So I run like, Tiger Strike cooldown and like a Blast Formation cooldown or something like that. So my build kind of looks like this, where I have a Tiger Strike cooldown and then a Blast Formation cooldown, because I just have these as my, skills from tier 3. And also I still have a ESO build, so I just keep these gems for my ESO build. You really don't have to have any specific things in here other than just gems in here to make it so that you have that percent attack power that you get from the tier 4 gems. So this is the gem build that you're going to want for your striker. Now, one thing that I will mention that I don't think anybody is thinking of is that Deathblow Striker is going to get weaker over time. And let me explain why. Right now, we don't have that many required gems. And in terms of damage gems, the only two skills that really use damage gems are Tiger Strike and Tiger Emerges, which are not even our biggest damaging skills. Our biggest damaging skill, as I showed earlier, is our T skill, which does not have a damage gem. Look at this, Charging Kick, 40.9% of the DPS distribution. That's a huge amount of our damage, but it doesn't have a damage gem. So what that basically means is our damage gets capped out the moment that our Ark passive maxes out. So we max out this efficient strike here, and then we get our, Orb's Blessing maxed out and our fully charged maxed out. And that's all the scaling that we have for our skill. It's at its peak. While other classes have other damage gems and damage skills that they can keep scaling off of, right? Like they get a level 10 damage gem tier 4 on their main damage skill, and then they get stronger. So right now, Striker is technically supposed to be stronger than a lot of other classes, but yet we're still not like a high tier damage. So as time goes on, Striker is just going to get a weaker and weaker because of the fact that we don't have a damage gem on our T scale, which right now is a positive, but as time goes through, as I said, it's going to be kind of a negative. So that's something to keep in mind, but it is what it is, right? That is our class. So in terms of damage gems and gems requirements, this is the required gems for our class. And again, if you wanted mid-max, you go Moonflash Kick right here, and then Vicious Tiger Dance, and boom. So those are the basics for the class. Now, let's go into gameplay. So the tier 4 Ark Passive Striker has one goal, basically. It has kind of one main thing. Do damage with your 2 ESO skills until you get 16 orbs of your Ark Passive, and then go let out the charged kick. So Our Arc passive makes it so that every time we use an SO skill, the other SO skills get reduced cooldown. So the regular SO skill, like for example right there, our Tiger Strike got reduced to 0, whereas our T skill gets reduced by 20 seconds every time we do this. So basically, our whole goal is to get this 16 bubble right here, and you can see right now with our QOL, our 4 bubbles get filled up. Then after that, use your skills, press your T, and boom. And then when you do that again, your T skill will have fully, been done with its cooldown by the time that you have 4 bubbles filled up again. So here we go, we'll do another rotation. There's a little bit of kind of a wait time, even if you have some good cooldown gems. And then gonna go into that, into this, and then your T skill. You didn't have to throw out the Vicious Tiger Dance right there. I just did it off of habit. So you don't have to do it. You could do it if you want to throw in a little bit of extra damage. But yeah, so that's kind of how it works. You get your 16 bubbles, or if you're looking on the side of your character, the 4 bubbles filled up, then you unleash your T skill. Pretty simple. Now, there's not really a strict rotation for this class. All you really do is basically use your generators when they come up, and then use your SO skills when they're up. Like this, and then use this one, and then T skill, right? Though there is kind of a priority that you do want to go off of, because there are generators that do more damage than others. So your Sweeping Kick is a priority generator, and then of course your Lightning Whisper, which keeps up your crit reduction debuff on the boss and gives you crit chance, right? So you can kind of think of them as pairs for the most part. So this one, Sky Shattering Blow, and this one, Vicious Tiger Dance, are your small generators. Your Moonflash Kick, your Lightning Whisper, and your Sweeping Kick are your big generators. So you always want to be using one small generator and one big generator to fill up your 4 bubbles. You can really mix and match them. So you can use Sky Shattering Blow into Sweeping Kick, right? That fills up your bubbles. You can also use Sky Shattering Blow into Lightning Whisper. That fills up your bubbles. So small into big, right? Sky Shattering Blow into Moonflash Kick also fills up your bubbles. Same is true with Vicious Tiger Dance. Vicious Tiger Dance into Lightning Whisper fills it up. Vicious Tiger Dance into Moonflash Kick also fills it up. And then Vicious Tiger Dance into Sweeping Kick also fills it up. So basically, small into big. You also have kind of a last ditch effort one that if you, for example, miss too many of your big generators, right? You can do Sky Shattering Blow into Storm Dragon Kick into Vicious Tiger Dance, and that will also get you your 3 bubbles. And that is kind of always been a thing, right? For us Deathblow strikers, that has always been a part of a rotation, but luckily with tier 4, with this new Ark passive, we don't need to do that anymore, and we can really keep it in our back pocket just in case shit hits the fan and we miss stuff and we're unable to get our bubbles filled up with our big generators because we missed them. So again, you want to do a small into big, small into big, small into big, and then you can also do the 3 small ones to get enough for 4 bubbles. But ultimately, your goal is to get the 4 bubbles, use the SO skills, again, get the 16 orbs, and spend it on the T skill. Now, one thing to note is that Sky Shattering Blow and Lightning Whisper both give an attack speed buff. So you saw there with Blessing of the Wind right here, when I use this, right, we get this little foot thing right here. And then with Lightning Whisper, when we do use it, we get this one, Lightning's Blessing. So in an ideal world, you're going to want to have both of these buffs up at the same time when you're using Charging Kick, just so that charge comes out that much faster. It's not a requirement by any means. Like I said, you can really mix and match your rotation and then just throw it out whenever you have the bubbles. But if you're able to time it so that you have both of these as the last SO skills that you have before your your T skill, then that's the best, right? But for the most part, and I'd say most of the time, you probably won't have both. And more likely than not, you'll probably do the Sky Shattering Blow into another one into the T skill. And again, even if you don't have that, you can also just do another one and then T skill. You can see it's pretty slow compared to if you have both of these up. But, it's better to have a smooth rotation than to force and wait for those two to come up. And also the Lightning Whisper attack speed buff does last quite a bit. So you might be able to like still have it up by the time you go into it, even if you didn't use both your Sky Shrouding Blow and Lightning Whisper as the last generators for your T skill. But again, very flexible rotation. Just use them as your skills come up. And if you can, try to at least end up using Sky Shattering Blow as the previous small generator before you use your T skill. So yeah, that's about it. There's not really that much that goes into this class. It's a fun class, does good damage, well, decent damage, and most importantly, it's a fun class, right? And it's way better than what it used to be. But some of you guys might be wondering, what about the ability stone? Well, in my opinion, for ability stones for DPS characters, it's pretty flexible. There's not really anything that you can go really wrong with in terms of the ability stone that you end up choosing. You don't have to like go a specific one. Oh, you need Adrenaline, you need Cursed Off, you need Grudge, you need Keen Blunt, right? That's not the case. You can pretty much go with any ability stone and you'll be fine as long as it's a 7/7 or a 9/6. Now, if you want to min-max, you ideally want to have Adrenaline on there, but in reality, you really don't have to. I'd say that if you can get one to be 9, that would be ideal. So like a 9/6 is the best thing outside of a 9/7 or a 10/6 or a 10/7, whatever it may be. But a 7/7 is still totally fine. It really doesn't make that much of a difference. And that's one of the things I think Tier 4 did the best for DPSs. Now supports, you kind of need Awakening, so stones for them are kind of ass, but hey, for DPS, you can kind of just do whatever you want and just have a 7/7 or a 9/6 and you're good to go, right? But yeah, that about wraps up this video. Hopefully this video was helpful, informative, fun, whatever it may be. I'm probably going to also leave some footage of like Behemoth gameplay that I had the other day. That was also a lot of fun and very good, just for you guys to watch and enjoy. But if you guys enjoyed this video, or if you have any additional questions about the Striker class, let me know down in the comment section below. As you guys probably know, Striker is my main, so I do have a little bit of knowledge about the class. And also, if you appreciate the video, be sure to hit the sub button. I'd really appreciate that. And also, I have a Patreon. If you want to support me there, that would be wonderful. And also, twitch.tv/MeSoXShiru. I stream that every single day at 10 p.m. PST. So I'd love to see you guys there. But if not, hopefully I'll see y'all on the next video. All right, guys. Peace. You need to run one more G4 this week. I think I have 2. Based on what you've seen so far, combat is not lost. I mean, it's not meant to be. ARPGs aren't meant to be crazy combat. I'm really surprised that the combat is that in depth. Okay. Okay. There we go. There it is. There it is.
The Chaos Guardians are preventing you from using Giant Stroke.
Apparently we're trying to skip Guardians.
Please help us adventurer.
Okay. No! Okay. This. Hit that. Hit this.
I don't think I can do this alone. I need
There it is. There it is. Ooh, boy. There it is. Hit this. Boom. 3.3. Sheesh. That was kind of strong. I'm gonna hyper this. I'm gonna hyper this. Boom! 7 bars. Ooh! 1.1. Easy. Easy. Maybe this class isn't weak. Shit, I fucked that one up. That's not good. Oh. What the hell? I did not have yearning for a hot second there. Is no. Okay. That. This. Oh, no! No, I missed that shit! No! Oh my god. I hate that. Oh my god, that was bad. I thought I could get it. I thought I could get it. Oh my god, and then I got a fucking shit under my foot. Okay. I'm down to re. I'm down to re. Oh, did I fuck that shit up again? I fucked it up again. That was supposed to be a T skill. Can we re? Can we re? Oh. Okay. Okay. Go 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Oh, oh. Is this a re-angle? Okay. Oh my god. I was charging my shit up! I fucking hate this state, bro. This one, there we go. 3.1. Let's go. Ah, man.
The winds are getting stronger. Be careful.
Hey, what the fuck? Am I not gonna hit that? Go. Oh, there's shit on the. Oh my god, I fucking missed my T skill again. I'm bad. I can't wait until the fucking QOL next week. I can't wait until the QOL next week. This is a re-angle. This should be a re-angle. This is please make this a re-angle. 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 Okay. Oh, what the? That's crazy. The Soul Eater's almost dead. Okay, there we go. There we go. This one over here, over here, over here. Oh, yeah, great stream. Question: does extra damage you get when the No, it does not apply to Hyper Awakening. Hyper Awakening can only be boosted by T skills from supports. Nothing else will boost the Hyper Awakening damage. Yeah, no problem, no problem. They can only be boosted by support T skill. Nothing else will boost it. Get away, 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 get away. Oh, don't die, don't die, don't die. Right. Okay. Boom! Okay. Go. Stand right here. There we go. Ouch. Oh! Nope. He's going. He's gone. Okay, 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 okay. Oh, don't do it. Okay. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? Why does he have to do this? Thank you. Okay. Ah, damn it. Oh, it's over. I did Z. I messed up my T skills so many times. It was so sad. GG's. Oh, I made it. I made it. I made it.